Last time in Battle Angel Alita, our heroine finally had a face-to-face meeting with the Motorball Champion, Jashugan, and his surprising new tuner, Dr. Ito. Over the course of their meeting, Ito provoked Alita into challenging Jashugan, going so far as to wager her own life just to have the chance to fight him on the track. They both damaged each other in an arm wrestling match, but Jashugan ended it before a conclusive winner emerged and granted Alita's request for a match. If she can gather a team of 5 to challenge Jashugan, she will be able to face the champion on the motorball circuit. Let's see what allies she can gather in Fight 17, second stage. Yeah, I'll be upfront with what this chapter is. This is basically all setup and window shoppings for Alita's challenge team. The chapter art this time is Alita and her coach Ed standing somewhere near the motorball track. I rather like this piece. It's a nicely executed snapshot of a moment on the sidelines of motorball, if nothing as dramatically symbolic as the giant heart sculpture from the last chapter. We kick off with a bird's eye view of the motorball track. This is the start of Alita's first second league match. According to the announcer, Alita the Killing Angels arm wrestling match with Jashugan and challenge team for the champion is common knowledge. Also, there's what I assume is an artist cameo in the sponsors, Kishiro Tile. Anyway, everyone is wondering how Alita will acquit herself as an unknown in the second league, and who will be the other 4 members of her team. I do really like this full-page image of Alita making her entrance. Ed comments to her that something has changed about her since her challenge to Jashugan. He used to feel that she was about to lash out all the time. Now I guess she's calmer or more focused. Alita says it's because she has a goal now. It might be a bit obvious to say, but everyone needs something to stand up and fight against. If you run away or just protect your own hide, you'll go soft and rot away. If you don't keep fighting, you'll ruin yourself. That's the kind of person she is. I like the characterization. It basically boils down to, you can't get complacent, you have to keep fighting for something, moving towards something. In Alita's case, the fighting part is very literal, of course, but I think this holds true for a lot of people. They flourish when they're moving forward, building towards something. Losing that, getting trapped without direction, can be ruining. Next, Alita meets up with Idakati, who seems to already be filling one of the spots on her challenge team. They've become pretty chummy too, with him referring to her as Sis. He also has some ideas about who to recruit for the other 3 members, but they get interrupted by a giant turtle, or at least that's what he looks like. After Idakati kicks him for falling asleep in the corridor, he immediately mistakes Idakati for Alita somehow, and starts blubbering about how he's in love with Alita and he wants to join the team. Thankfully, Idakati dropkicks him away. Apparently, that was Teagle, the shame of the second league and perpetual basement dweller of the rankings. Enough of that for now. Idakati wants to introduce Alita to his disciples, several players that he brought under his wing and taught his Asian arts. They are Basilard, the pile driver, Scramasax, the runner, and Halberd, the kicker. Basilard, in particular, raises an objection, wondering how a man of his stature could be working for a mere girl. Idakati declares he will suffer no insolence to Sister Alita, while he became really committed to her after getting beaten once. Before he can go further, Alita waves Idakati off and cheerfully offers to match fists with Basilard if he wants her to prove her worth. They face off in a page-and-a-half fight scene that ends in a draw, with Basilard's pile driver and Alita's Damascus blade poised to strike one another. They call it a draw, and Alita compliments Idakati on the quality of his disciples, but he recognizes that she could have won. She made it a draw on purpose so Idakati could save face with his disciples. Well, I like that Alita's been shown to be both badass and considerate. Like I said though, this chapter is basically a series of glorified character introductions, so we've got to move on to the next one. It's this guy, who appears to be made of chainsaws, and his squat companion. This is the brutal champion of the second league, Armbrust, known as the Caligula. With him is his sycophantic minion, Dirty Peshkabs. Armbrust is here to trash talk and intimidate Alita, saying she'll never get to challenge Jashugan because he'll splatter her on the track. Her winning response is, "Oh yeah, second league has a champion. Well, if you want to be part of my team, you should have said so instead of showing off. I'll think about it." And then she just leaves him seething to abuse his minion. I love it. As they walk on, someone moves past Alita very quickly, so fast that even she didn't see them coming before it was too late. During a race, she wouldn't have been able to stop an attack like that. The perpetrator is a woman who has stopped to look back at Alita. Idakati says that is Zafel Taki, who isn't a fighter but achieves a high ranking due to her genius racing ability. Alita is getting excited. Our final scene for this chapter moves away from the character introductions to Jashugan's house. Jashugan will be watching the second league game to see what Alita's got. He invites Ito to watch as well, but he refuses. Jashugan then asks why he's trying to hide that he and Alita were close. Apparently, Ito hasn't been hiding his feelings as well as he thought. Jashugan wants to know what game Ito's playing, and that is the end of this chapter. I don't have a lot to say about this chapter. It is almost entirely planting seeds for later, introducing characters and ending with a bit of a cliffhanger on the Jashugan Ito scene. Thankfully, it isn't too long and the characters are interesting. I do like the very confident and positive look of Alita in this chapter as well. There are some information pages at the end of this volume I could talk about though. The first explains the rules behind Motorball. Apparently, it's the preferred form of entertainment for the western sector of the scrapyard, while the Coliseum is the preferred entertainment of the eastern sector. There are 7 basic rules to the sport, though it is played with many variations. 1. Whoever maintains possession of the motorball over a set number of laps and finishes wins. 2. The track is one way, and reversing more than 3 meters is grounds for penalty. 3. Stopping on the track for more than a minute is automatic disqualification. 4. If the motorball goes off track or is broken, the game is halted until a replacement ball is put in play. 5. Handheld weapons, ranged weapons, and explosive weapons are prohibited. I'm pretty sure the guy with the samurai sword a few chapters ago breaks this. 6. Fighting in the pits is instant disqualification. 7. The ball carrier cannot enter the pits. Lastly, there's a special rule that if there are only 2 functional players on the track, this triggers a showdown where rules 1 through 4 no longer apply. Basically, it becomes a duel at this point. The next page offers a bit of insight into how Motorball is structured. There's the Amateur League, which is mostly played on the streets by players that couldn't hack it in the professional leagues. Then there's the Third League, where Alita started. Then the Second League, where she is now. Then finally the Top League, where Jashugan reigns supreme. Apparently there's a vast number of players if you include the amateurs and 10 major motorball circuits in the scrapyard, so this is a massive industry for the scrapyard. There's also a breakdown of the monitoring system. Each player is outfitted with a transmitter that relays what they see to the system, which feeds to monitors viewed by various people as Ito did in the very start of the arc. Apparently, monitor viewership is factored into the scoring system, so players are encouraged not just to win, but to make a show of it. I don't think Alita is going to have a problem with that. We are only about halfway through the Motorball arc at this point, even though this is the end of a volume. I hope there won't be too much of a wait in starting Volume 4, so please keep an eye out for Fight 18 when I get that out. Until then, I wish you all a good day.